Hey, this is the Mun speaking. I wanted to do a voice thingy, so I didn't know what to talk about, but then suddenly a theme of kisses and first kisses and all that started popping up on my dash, and I thought, why not talk about my first kiss? It's actually a pretty long story, and you need some background knowledge to follow, I guess, because I live in a dorm, and it's on a special kind of school that's pretty unique to the Danish system. Um, it's where it's the social network. That's a movie. Sorry, bad pun. You know. Anyway, the school is for more establishing social ties than education. I mean, the education is pretty important too, and this is actually one of those kinds of schools that focus most on education, but mostly it's about social connections and making friends and all that. So we all live in dorms, and yeah, so that's the background knowledge you need. Back in October, I had a really huge crush on a guy. You could say I was in love. I guess I was in love. And we'd been inseparable for 2 weeks after, first meeting each other. And at the time, I had a friend who's a scout. I'm not that big of a friend of hers anymore after she did some shit, but that's another story. But back then, she taught me the Morse code, so I know Morse code now, and that plays a pretty important role. So I texted her a book that us three, me and the boy and we had discussed. And she just texted back, thank you. And then she wrote in Morse code, P.S., kiss, and then the boy's names. I'll call him L. Yeah. So I said, I've translated it, and I have no comments. So the next day, she didn't mention anything, but the day after that, us three were left alone in the common room because our friends had gone because of a meal, which is not obligatory, but they wanted it. And we were not hungry, so we just sat there and talked. And the girl, Anna, she just said, remember that Morse code I sent you, Sina? That's my name, Sina. Hello. And I asked, if it was that one. I didn't really say specifically what it was about because he was sitting right next to me. And she was like, yeah. So for the next hour, I tried to steer the conversation away from the Morse code, and she tried to steer it, and he did as well because he had no idea what it was about. So I promised him that I would tell him, and it was Wednesday, I think, or Thursday or something. And Thursday. And I promised him that I would tell him the next day because it was Friday, right before vacation. So I told him, oh yeah, sure, I'll tell you tomorrow, because it was kind of awkward, like just kiss him right then and there while my friend was there. That was kind of awkward. So I promised him, and then the next day he kept every break we had during the day, he just came over and was like, you ready to tell me what that was all about? So I gave him a hint and said that it was about him and something that my friend thought that I should do. And I said, okay, I'll tell you after the last class. So it became after the last class, and I sat in a couch in the middle of the hall, and he came and joined. And I knew, because I don't live very far from the school, so I knew that my parents would soon be there to pick me up, so I would have to hurry a bit. So we were just sitting in there in the couch, and I was gathering up some courage, and so my mom arrived at the parking spots, and I could see her from the window. So I didn't want to do it while she was out there seeing us through the window. It was a really awkward day. And she walked up to the front door, and I just went all serious mode and said, okay, so here's the thing. And then I went silent for, I think, 5 seconds and just I laughed and said, "Oh no, I can't do this." And then I did it. Like 0.3 seconds later, I just, barged right into here. Oh my god. It hurt my teeth. But yeah, I kissed him. And I said, you knew that was it, right? Because I figured he had guessed it, and he had. So that was kind of awkward. And then my mom arrived just, right there, right after I kissed him, and probably realized what was happening. And yeah, that was awkward. So I went home for a week and kept, I couldn't think about anything else because I was so embarrassed. So that was the long story. First real kiss, ooh, tongue, as Amy said, was at the first party that was held by the school, which was in late October. That was in early October, so I think a month? No, maybe a half, maybe a couple of weeks. And yeah, and right on the dance floor, that was yeah, I think we were intoxicated, both of us. And he asked me to be his girlfriend that same evening, so around midnight, actually. Really Cinderella-ish. So that was my story. Yeah. And it's kind of awkward because we broke up and he still goes to the school and I do. And yeah, that's awkward, but that's another story. Okay. So I think that's basically it. But I think I want to say something in Danish just to, drille Amy med, at hun ikke kan sige noget på det her sprog, fordi at det er så awesome. Og det kan man selvfølgelig godt forstå, fordi det var jo på engelsk, men der er stadig en del af det her, der er på dansk. Og jeg håber ikke, jeg lyder som en fuldkommen idiot. Og min stemme er ikke majestic, as you say. So yeah, that was it.